Good morning. Happy Monday. I am so glad to be here and I'm so glad that you are too. I am trying out a new pair of headphones, so please let me know if you can hear me. So I wanted to share with you, it's Monday morning, right? Plus we've got the holidays coming up, so all kinds of big things going on. Always when the holidays are here, it feels a little bit more high energy and just a flurry of activity, we'll say. I know here for Troy and I, we're going to be leaving Asheville and heading to Florida on Wednesday. So just traveling is always a thing, right? Packing up, figuring out what are we taking, what fits, how to make it all, fit in the car well. So we'll be heading to Florida on Wednesday for a month. Super excited about that. And I wanted to just share with you this morning in my conversations with people over the last few weeks. I love just observing the patterns and the themes that are coming up with people and then being able to pass it on to you. So I'm noticing this theme about people feeling unsettled, people feeling not as good as they want to, right? Which is why I titled it what I titled it. And so I just want to give you some understanding based on what I've learned and what I've been studying to help you get more of the good stuff in your life. Okay, so that being said, we are literally intended for good. We're actually intended, designed, our bodies, our minds, our hearts, our experience. We're literally intended, designed for good. For amazing, right? To experience pleasure, to experience enjoyment, right? Literally the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about pleasure, I think about my taste buds, right? I'm just drinking my morning smoothie, which actually is a peppermint flavored protein, special for the season, right? And I'm just thinking of how my mouth is still experiencing the sensation of the peppermint. So just thinking about the mechanics, the literal way in which your body was designed is proof, right? I know if you're anything like me, you're always looking for proof of why things are as they are, that your body is literally designed to experience pleasure. So the way that I think about it is, as you're going through your life, your mind, your heart, right, your state of being is always calibrating to feel good. And when I say good, it's like the body wants to feel like everything is okay. The mind wants to believe that everything is okay. Everything is under control, so to speak. And that there are good things ahead, right? That is the natural state of who we are and what we're always seeking. Whether you're conscious of that and or you're conscious of the pursuit or not, your body is designed that way. So it is literally always calibrating to feel good. So when we have times in our lives, right, where we're not feeling good, just to keep it super simple here, right? And so the holidays is one of those times where either you're feeling really good or you're feeling really stressed and really uncertain, right? So think about it, where are you right now? Are you feeling really good and really excited and looking forward to the next several weeks? Or are you feeling very stressed and apprehensive and uncertain, right? So I'm just using the holidays, obviously apply this to your life in general. Thinking about it related to just what's going on with you right now, is your body naturally feeling good, or is it overworking to calibrate you into a place where you could feel good, right? So if you're in that stressed state, and here's the thing, right? Side note, you could be in a stressed state in just one area of your life, could be in multiple areas, could be just an underlying state of restlessness or anxiety. So you think about for you, where are you, right? And different times in your life where you've had a period where you feel really anxious, or you've had a period where you feel very uncertain or confused. I mean, there's ample amounts of evidence to look at over the last few years. And so when you're in this survival state, right, that's essentially what I'm getting at, is it's a state of survival when we're having to work to feel good. So again, whether you're conscious of it or not, your body is always working, right? Your body is literally always working. It's breathing, it's got this whole functioning going on inside of it. And so the same thing with the mind, with the heart, with the spirit within you, it's always calibrating towards the standard, the homeostasis of good. Okay, so when we're not feeling genuinely good, because again, your body is always telling the truth, you can't make your body lie. Your body will never lie to you. It's always only able to tell the truth. Such a beautiful thing. You can always rely on your body to be 100% honest with you, which is amazing to really stop and think about. Wow, if you're ever wanting to really know what's going on with you, you literally just stop and ask your body. Check in with your body. Because when there's like tenseness, right, in our shoulders, in our neck, right, maybe you have like an uncomfortable feeling in your belly, which everyone has experienced at one point or another, it is your body communicating with you. And again, your body is not capable of lying. So when we're having to calibrate towards goodness, it means our bodies are overworking. And when we're overworking in any capacity, the body is having to overwork, we're naturally draining our resources. The natural resources of our body are being drained. So that means you're going to feel more tired, right? So some of you may be in a constant state of feeling tired. That is not what's intended. I was going to say normal, but really that is kind of a normal, that most people, when you talk to them, they say, I feel tired. But that's not what is intended as a normal state of being. Our normal state of being is to feel at rest within ourselves, at rest within our day, what we're doing. It's supposed to feel like a natural ebb and flow. Okay, so if your body is having to overwork, you think about this, right? You're decreasing your immune system, right? You're decreasing the body's ability to care for itself, to attend to all the systems that need attention. And the body is having to channel all of its resources to helping you raise up your state of being. So times where we are overstressed or anxious or fearful or feeling not good enough decreases the body's ability to function. And so you're operating in a state of survival. Whether you feel that way here, right? Whether you logically feel like you're in a state of survival or not, your body is in survival. Which again, is not what we're intended for, right? And this is where the phrase, I'm sure you've heard the phrasing of we're meant for thriving, not surviving. This is where that comes from, right? It's often just said very cliche and sort of passively, but it is actually a very real thing. And so when we're in constant survival, eventually, over time, we decrease our functioning level, right? People get sick, people start to operate in a state that's just less than what they're intended for, less than what they're capable of, and what is called settling, right? In some form or another, you start to operate at a lesser level. I like to think of it as you start to operate below the line, right? So if you're meant for like goodness and beautiful things, but you're stressed or anxious or fearful or feeling not good enough, then you're literally operating below the line and you're in that state of survival. Okay, so shifting, right? And think about it specifically with the holidays. Many people feel obligated to spend time doing various things, whether it's a simple thing like you spend time cooking when you really don't want to be cooking, or a bigger thing like you go and spend time with people that you really don't want to be spending time with, or you're just not doing it in the way that you would really like to be doing. So that type of thing, again, is why you feel so exhausted afterwards, right? I don't know, just for your own life, think about it. I hear this regularly over my 20 years. Certainly as a therapist, I heard all kinds of states of survival and feeling overly tired and exhausted. And so thinking about it for your own life, right? Times when you have felt so exhausted. Why? Because your body has been overworking. Okay, so the key to shifting, right? Because that's what I'm all about now. That's how I help people, is I help people transform. I help people change the way they think about things, change what they believe, so that they can actually create a life where they are thriving, and they're thriving with ease, not working so hard. Because working so hard actually just makes you more tired and leaves you in more exhaustion. Okay, so the key is to, one, decide I am meant for thriving, and be committed. Be committed to thriving no matter what. No matter what. Which may mean, for most people, it means you have to question everything. You have to be willing to question everything. I know for myself, I had to become willing to question the traditional way of doing things in order to get myself to where I am now. Because if I kept doing the traditional way of doing things, I would still be way back where I was several years ago in survival mode. I would not be excited to get onto Facebook to share and spend time with you, that is for sure. No. So you have to be committed to thriving first, and you have to be willing to question everything that could potentially be keeping you, holding you back from thriving. It means the various beliefs, the various traditional rules, the traditional way of doing life, all has to at least be up on the table to look at, and you be able to then get clear with what it is that's actually holding you back from thriving. And then you have to be willing to surround yourself with people and be in environments that also support you thriving. Because if you are committed to thriving, but then you keep going and spending time with people that are surviving, right? Or you spend time in environments that actually drain your energy, right? Leave you feeling depleted and exhausted. Or I know for me, one of the things I used to do was just literally overwork in my job. And so if you're overworking in your job, you're left feeling exhausted. You aren't going to be able to make that transition to actually be thriving, because they're incompatible. And so I know a lot of you end up feeling very frustrated, like, wait, Sarah, I am committed to thriving. I do want to do like amazing things with my life. But then you turn around and you go back into a situation or environment and or spend time with people who suck you dry, who take you down. Okay, now again, side note, and you've heard me talk about this quite a bit, it's not their fault. It's not the job's fault, it's not your partner's fault, it's not your parents' fault, it's not any of their faults, right? Because they're doing their life. And it's not really anyone's fault. That's the other major shift to make, right? Which is for a different day to talk about. It's totally on you, because you're the one that gets affected when you go into that zone. When you go there, you go, doo. Okay? So when you overwork, you overextend yourself, you're the only one responsible for when you then feel exhausted. And so the shift, again, is to be able to be willing to not overwork, overcommit, overextend yourself, and actually learn a different way to live. I call it liberated living, which is, again, living in a state of rest and ease, where you still have all of the amazing things in your life that you really want. You're just not left feeling exhausted anymore. It is the state of thriving and living really well, feeling really good on a consistent basis. Okay, so to sum it up here, I just want to leave with you also this tie-in and awareness that this is where you'll see people who are like really doing well, successfully by the world standards, right? They have a lot of money, they have a lot of things, they seem to be doing a lot of amazing like trips or whatnot. But then you look at them and they don't actually appear happy. This is why. Because when you're operating from a state of survival, right? Because survival comes here. Survival is a state of being. So it doesn't actually matter how much money you have. You could have a tiny little bit of money, or you could have a ton of money, and you could still be operating in the survival mindset, which is then where scarcity and lack, that state of awareness, actually comes in. So when you hear people talking about scarcity mindset, what they're actually talking about is people who are choosing to operate in a state of survival, a state of over functioning, overworking. So the opposite then, right, is where we get growth mindset and abundance mindset. And this idea of being rich comes from actually living in a state of thriving. Because again, rich is not about how much money you have, because there's like no dollar amount that says, oh, you're rich now with this dollar amount, right? No, it's a state of being. And that state of being is an awareness, a knowing, an understanding, and then the ability to actually live it out from this state of thriving, where your body is no longer having to overwork, overextend, and or put itself in situations and environments where it really doesn't perform at its best. Okay, you guys, as always, thank you so much for being here. And now is such a great time. In my opinion, it's always a great time to radically up-level your life and be able to truly thrive in everything that you're doing. And I know for a lot of people, right, myself included, traditionally we think of the new year as the time to do it. So it's always a good time, and now is a great time to up-level radically your whole life by doing the internal work, which is where I come in, right? And we partner together, and I go in with you to look at these various things that are causing you stress, that are causing you discomfort, that are causing you to feel tired and drained. And we shift over to creating the life that you really want, right? Which is really simply put, we allow you to live in thriving. We create a world where you can be thriving. So the other type of person that I work with is those people who feel like good, but they want more, right? Because we are intended to thrive, which means there's always more amazing goodness available. And so if you're at that place where you're like, man, I have amazing big goals for 2023, and I want some help with those, yes, let's do this. Everyone needs this level of support because everyone is dealing with the same type of mind, the same system up here that desires to keep things like right here, because going out here can feel scary and the mind wants to be like, no, let's stay right here. Okay? So I will drop my link here in the comments and reach out to me on Messenger. It's really the best way to start a conversation. And we'll set up a time where you and I can get together and talk further about exactly what you want for 2023 and how to make it happen. All right, you guys, between now and when I see you next, go do that thing you most want to do. And I'll talk to you soon.